it going? Welcome back to the shed. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a DIY airbox elimination on the other Bonnie, on the carb Bonnie. I've got the ram air filters left from doing the continuing project with removing the airbox on the EFI Bonnie. Yeah, got a spare airbox, and I thought I might just have a bit of fun with it, see if we can do it on the cheap a little bit. Also, I still haven't got the kind of the jetting quite right, I don't think, on the bike. It's hard to explain, but by what they call the the seat your pants dyno, it just doesn't feel quite right. So I'm gonna sort of experiment with that, but I've kind of left it as it is because I wanted to change the jets for a bit larger jets anyway for the airbox. See if we can get everything all fueling, but we'll get onto that bit a little bit later. First things first is to see what we've got that we can use, because we don't really want to spend any money.
As you know, in the carb Bonnie at the moment, I've got the EFI airbox with the baffle removed and the this breathe intake and like the K&M filter and all that. But I have got left over an airbox. I've also got left over from, because I use different filters on that bike, some ram air filters. So I'm thinking maybe I could make a little DIY airbox removal kit for the Bonnie. And the way I'm kind of thinking of doing it is just cutting up the stock airbox. So I've just leaving the battery box part of it, and then probably, so when you look at it as it's mounted on the bike, there's the battery box here. Probably use some of this underneath kind of protection there as well. That might be nice to keep. But then you've got where the two relays go here, and you've got your starter solenoid that clips in there. That might have to be relocated because that's where the battery box finishes. Other side, same sort of thing. That's where your rear brake fluid mounts, and then your fuse box is here. So yeah, I might have a little look at seeing what I can take off this, cut it down, and make our own little box. Alright, so we take the screws out the one side. There's a little bit of silicone, sort of like a sealant, but that pretty much comes off. So you can kind of get a cross-section idea. So this is viewed from the fuse box side. This is the airbox baffle that people talk of. It's like just a restrictor plate that sits in the airbox and come out. So we can start to see the bits that we need, which is kind of just this at the moment, and possibly some of this. And I might use this to remount relays and things. I'm not sure. Gonna have a little bit of a play and just see, but I'll just disassemble the whole thing first. So same to the other side. So that's what we're left with. These are the side pieces, which I'm going to hang on to for one moment. Let's have a look at the main body of the airbox. So as you can see, that is pretty much what we want. Possibly this if we want to keep a bit of a back wheel mud protection. And then from the side, starter solenoid relay mounting points. But then they can really be relocated anywhere around this box. And then on the other side, of course, the fuse box and rear brake fluid reservoir, which need to go somewhere around here. So, I mean, pretty much for definite, most of this front bit can go. Well, all of this will go. I've just got to work out which bits on here we decide to hang on to, if any, because it'd be nice just to completely get rid of it all. Just have that nice kind of open look. Maybe put in a little box at the bottom here to relocate all the electrics, something like that. Yeah. Right, so after careful consideration, I've decided to just get rid of that bit. So I've just done the rough cuts. In terms of where they hung off here, I mean that's fairly easy mounting points to replicate if I need to with brackets and whatnot, so I'm not too fussed about that. So just going to get rid of much as possible. So yeah, so that's basically what I've got to work with, and then decide what's going to stay from this point. But it's all very oily and dirty, so I think I might give it a clean up. Okay, so all sort of roughly worked out. That's what we've got there. That's where obviously the filters are on now, and then obviously not the finished piece. Still got to work out where we're going to put this kind of malarkey. But there's the airbox trimmed down and just fitted in. Obviously not tidied up yet. I want to get rid of all the kind of mouldings and stuff on here, so we've just got a very simple, nice black box. So I think that's just going to be time with sandpaper and Dremel. I think for the moment I'm going to leave this here. I'd like to cut that off so it is just a box, but I kind of do need to have some under-seat protection. So for the time being, until I can get maybe some big kind of piece of alley there, I don't know, something like that, but that's going to do for the time being. But obviously again, that all needs tidying up. But yeah, so I think I'm going to just take the battery box out now and get busy with the Dremel. Alright then, so that's what we got. So we're going to get rid of kind of all these kind of like moulding stuff. This is where like the airbox baffles slid into. Just make a nice job of the ends here. Not quite sure what I'm going to do about these bits yet. You don't really see them, but if we can just disappear everything so it just looks as clean as possible. And some of this malarkey here, get rid of all that. Yeah, see how it goes really. So I probably won't bother filming it. It's just going to be a little bit time consuming, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's the box kind of smoothed down. So just giving it a light sanding, so I'm going to just spray it all over with some tough black anyway, just to give it a freshen up. But the more I'm looking at it, the more I think I'm going to cut this bit off. This just looks a little bit, I don't know, not great. And plus, yeah, I kind of want a flatter, cleaner look than that. This just does look like it's just been hacked out of the old airbox, which of course it has, but I want to try and jazz it up a little bit more than that. So yeah, I think I'm just going to take it off there as well, and then I'm just going to have to make up a plate to go behind it to protect the filters in the front of the engine from road shit. Right, with that back kind of mudguard bit taken off, I followed that kind of curve. I mean, it's not a symmetrical moulding anyway, so it throws your eye off a bit, and I think it's still a bit ugly, so I might just go off flat with the battery box. That will open up this area here, but then that's not too bad. That's just a drainage area anyway then, and I don't think it's going to compromise the integrity of the box itself. That's just where the drain hole is at the moment, but I think that's just going to make it look a lot neater. Okay, I'm probably going to have to leave it there now on the video. That's taken well, I only really left myself Sunday to do all this, which wasn't quite enough time. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. I've got to figure out where I'm going to mount different bits and bobs, but get the battery box finished up as well. So yeah, as if I hadn't got enough to do with on that. I did this weekend start doing some stuff with the side panels, which I think I'm going to change my mind. I want to see how this looks, the battery box now with the exposed filters, and maybe that is going to impact on how they're going to fit these side panels, and if they need to go a bit smaller, or I certainly, if I leave them the way that I'll be showing you in a minute, I think I want to change the angle of where I'd set the brackets. So yeah, I'll just leave you with that. Unfinished business on every end, whether it's with that Bonnie, the Bonnie that's in front of me, yeah, all unfinished, but ongoing fodder for projects and videos. So thanks for watching. Keep coming back. I must get on with that one, but I
catch up with you soon.
Right then, well, as you can see, this is where previous owner had modified one of the side panels, which is a bit of a shame because these are the metal side panels, but hey ho, it was his bike, he could do what he wanted with it, but that's not going to really do with me. And rather than just try and fill it and just use this one, I figured it would be a good opportunity to try and do something a bit different with this one on the side panels. So what are we going to do? Well, I picked up some of these off eBay, aluminium number plates, and they also look like dinner plates as well. You could serve a range of hors d'oeuvres on here perhaps if you wanted to, but in this instance I'm going to use them as a side cover, and they'll probably sit sort of round about there-ish, I think, on here. And it's kind of twofold. One, it's just a little bit different and really cheap as well, because I think even sort of second hand or the kind of glass fibre reproduction ones, they're not ridiculously cheap. So this is kind of like something I'm looking forward to trying out. I'll probably just use the existing mounting holes somehow that they're on, and also it's twofold because I also want to kind of have a little bit more exposure there for when we do away with the airbox in this one and have the pod filters, make a bit more of a feature of it all. So that's coming up as well at some point, if not unless I've already done the video. But yeah, DIY airbox elimination kit. So yeah, so let's have a little
okay, so this is where we're wanting to mount. Made some cardboard templates, so that's the size of the panel there. I think I'm probably going to utilise these 2 points somewhere to hold it. They're very light, so that should be enough. But started off a bit of cardboard, which I've just cut to the same angle as how this bracket sits, with just a random fold in it. Actually, that's how it came. Well, that seems to be spot on actually. So that starts getting us into the ballpark. And I'm thinking, I could probably come in looking at it. I mean, that sits just off there. Yeah, which I think is a good place for it to sit. That's where it naturally sits quite nicely. So that's just luck more than anything else. But I might kind of cut a tab so it joins, so it's just this section here and then comes down here. So yeah, a little bit of a cut around with that, but I'm just going to mark out the excess areas that we don't need on here. Okay, I'm thinking something like that is probably going to work. Okay, so very simple form at the moment. So I don't think this piece will be quite that big. It just needs to be enough to give me something to either screw or rivet that onto. So let's see if I can make a bracket out of something like this. Bit of scrap metal. It's already got a bend in it.
Right then, well, that's a start on the first bracket. Obviously I've curved, I haven't done anything with the bottom section yet. Still got the powder coat and the rough edges, but the top end, that's like a big finger pointing. Ooh, a little bit like a willy, and that will sit just like that. I've drilled the holes in obviously, and then I'll just use the rubber grommets off there, and yeah, I think that should be spot on. But yeah, just a little bit more refining on that bracket, and looking on this side as well, it's going to be possibly the same. Depends if I keep the fuse box and whatnot here, but I think it's going to be a slightly different shaped bracket, so I can't just flip over the template. But yeah, we'll get to that one side at a time. Right, there we go. That's well, the one of 4 brackets I think I'm going to need, but that one seems to have worked out okay. Drilled the holes and put the rubber grommets in as well now, so that's like the hook one, and then I'll need to make up the bolt one, and that's just perfect for that'll rivet in nicely there. So yeah, let's see the placement. I've yet to finalise, but I'll do that last because I want to get them obviously both matched up on both sides. Yeah, it's looking alright, I think. Inspired to carry on. Okay, so what I've done on this, on the sort of rear brake reservoir side, the right hand side, just flip the bracket over so it's the wrong way up but the same sort of dimensions, and as you can see, I thought the fuse box was going to be an issue, but I don't think that is now. Anyway, I could have moved that. I think it's going to actually just be the brake light switch and the brake switch here. That's just slightly, that's hard to even see on the camera, but that's banged up against that, so that's going to want to be just a little bit, maybe, so that's, what's that, about a centimetre, maybe even less, further out. Now I am wondering about putting a curve in these, like that way. Does that make sense? Sort of, so they're more dished like that. But I think that would probably help, and that might even give me a bit more room, but I'm still going to be tucked in there. But yeah, I think I need to try and make up another bracket anyway. Got plenty of this metal left, still got all that, so I only need one that size. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much the same bracket as this, but just there's a second one cut out. So you need to then start shaping it, keep offering it up, checking it's okay. So it's a bit wider to allow for that push out over the brake. Okay, so that's both sides of the brackets done now. That one trimmed and cut the same, although sticking out just a touch further just to clear all this. So yeah, so before I work out exactly where I'm going to mount the ovals on each panel on the side, so I want those to be lined up exactly, I'm going to get my little brackets made up for the bottom here, and they'll just mount onto the existing part there. So that's the next phase. Well, that's turned out probably a little bit easier than I thought, hopefully. Got me a little bracket on the bottom, and it's just having a rummage around, just a headlight bracket. I've had to put a little spacer behind it, but it's got the kind of little bend in it, kind of fits quite nicely against the side of the frame rail there. Yeah, all I had to do was just drill out and enlarge that hole to accept the grommet and the metal collar inside it. But yeah, drilled there, I think 2 there. I'll probably go with four rivets to hold that on, I think. And yeah, reckon that'll be the job.